Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and it's been a few days since I've been using iOS 11.0.2. Now this was an official update that Apple released to the public, and I have to say, at least in my experience, it's been the worst update ever released to the public, at least for me. This is my iPhone 8 Plus, it's the space gray model, and before this update, and not the beta updates, the original iOS 11.0.1, this had the best battery life of any phone I'd ever used. Now it's got some of the worst battery life. Now I've tried different things. I thought maybe that wasn't an issue. I know some others that don't have the issue, but there's others on YouTube experiencing the same thing. So if I go into settings, now I've been charging this wirelessly today. I've been charging it in my car, fast charging it. Usually by this time of night, it's got 50% left, and that's without me charging it at all throughout the day. Now I'm charging it just to get through the day. At about noon, I'll have 50% or less. So let me go here to battery, and you'll see I charged it 10 hours. Since last full charge, it's been 10 and a half hours, 15 hours, and 31 minutes. It hasn't been full charged since that entire time, which is about right. But to keep it going, I've had to plug it in at least once, and then throughout the day I had to plug it in again, and then while I was driving it's also plugged into my car's lightning port, and it's just been really bad. Responsiveness of the phone has gone down. It's not as fast. 3D touch lag is about the same, but things like mail keep freezing and locking up on me. I have to close out the app and reopen it. Other things like Geekbench show that the phone is performing terribly. So let me go over here. Geekbench is showing 8037 for multi-core. I've tried this over and over, closing all the apps, everything else. With iOS 11.1 Beta 1 and also iOS 11.0.1, I had over 10,000 for multi-core. So whatever's going on with this update for my particular device isn't good. So there's definitely some bugs. There's other bugs being reported elsewhere, and there's just all sorts of problems with this version of iOS. So I'm probably going to just update this back to the beta, which was more buggy but had way better battery life. And that's really all I have to say about this. If you're not on 11.0.2 and you have an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, you may want to hold off. I've heard of people with iPhone 7s and 6Ss without any problem whatsoever. It just seems to be people on iPhone 8 for whatever reason. Everything else seems to be working okay. Camera and different apps, they're working fine. It's just the battery life is really horrible. I've closed all my apps. I've even changed a few settings. I changed some watch location settings, and it might be location using a lot of power or something. Let's go into privacy and take a look. If we go into location settings, my camera was just last using it, which makes sense. But before that, there's not a whole lot. Most of these are while using or never. So I don't really have these using my location most of the time, unless I'm using the app. And I'm usually in things like YouTube or Twitter, things like that. And I've had some seriously bad battery life. I can't remember the last time my battery was this bad on a public release. iOS 11 Beta 1 maybe was this bad, and Beta 2, but never, ever a public release. So I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments below, how it's been for you. If you have an 8 or 8 Plus, or even some of the other phones, let me know what it's like for you. Are you having these issues? Also, thanks to Hafed Marzouk for this wallpaper. He sent it to me through email. You can do that through email or Twitter. I'll leave the links in the description below, and keep sending them along. I really appreciate it, and if I use yours, I'll give you a shout out. So that's it for this particular update. I don't have much more to say other than if you're not on it, you may want to consider not updating until the next update is out, since it's going to need some bug fixes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.